Fantastic. Thank you for joining Litera Learning Live today. It's great to have you on our session. You are
Thank you for having
basically
me.
our first guest. And I was just wondering, could you just maybe introduce yourself? What are you working on? What are you exactly doing? What is your position?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a sales engineer. I've been at Litera now for 1 year. I was actually originally part of the Workshare group where I was a pre-sales consultant there for 3 years working on the comparison product and demonstrating that being the go-to person between the salespeople as well as the developers, the product managers. So now that I'm at Litera, my role is across the whole product suite, but still mainly concentrating on Compare as well.
Great, nice. And my name is Ivo, and I'm customer adoption specialist. So doing training sessions for the customers and helping assist either internally or to the customers and to direct them to the right resources or correct resources for in terms of adoptions. So yeah, that was quick introduction. And then what we would like to show you today is we would like to go through a workshop compare tool. So Mohammed will share with you a screen and he will show you a few quick and tips, for example, how you can compare two Word or PDF documents. And he will also will be discussing further about the change summary. So are you happy, Mohammed, to share with us the screen?
Yes, I'm about to share my screen with you now.
Thank you.
Can you see that?
Great. Yeah, I can see.
Okay, perfect. Ivo, I've got a question for you here. So
Sure.
when you speak to the customers, do you see a trend in terms of the workflow and in how they begin a comparison?
Yes, I would say so. The workflow it's quite important because not all of the customers knows that, for example, you can launch the comparison by, for example, highlighting two documents.
Yep.
Mostly, they just launch the application through double clicking on the desktop and then selecting the manually. So I would say definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know. Something that I always tell customers when I'm demonstrating the product is that you can do it through the application. And there's also the way in which you just described, where you can highlight two documents, right click and click with compare with Workshare. But there are also a couple of different ways in which you can manage it the same way as how you can begin a comparison today. For example, if I was just going to open up a Word document here, it's going to bring it over to this screen. A lot of the time I hear things like, well, we use Microsoft Word for our comparison, or we use Workshare Compare. And we always, if it's with Microsoft Word, we do this through Word itself. And if it's with Compare, we do that through the comparison application. So I've always advised clients to do this through Microsoft Word as well, the same way that you currently do this. So within the Litera tab, you'll have access to our products here, but you can actually start the comparison directly by clicking into this compare button. Now, when you click on this, it will open up the application in which where you can choose which versions you'd like to compare this against. So that's been one workflow that I've always told them about. The other way that I've always mentioned is through Outlook itself. So I'm going to minimize this so you can see this a bit clearer. Something I always hear is that they'll always get several different attachments in an email and they don't know where to start. They don't know which documents they want to compare. So we made it a little bit easier. With Litera, you'll have this add-in within Outlook. So if I click into this and onto the compare feature, you'll have this dialog option here where you can choose which documents you'd like to compare. So you can compare Word to Word, Word to PDF, or PDF to PDF. So it's
Mohammed,
especially useful.
sorry that I will stop you. Can I, if I would like to compare, let's say, the PDF to PowerPoint, is there any options, or do I need to just compare two same formats?
Yes, that's a good question. if you want to do PDF to PowerPoint, you'll
Mm.
notice that this continue button is unchecked, so it won't let you do that. So it will only be Word to Word, Word to PDF, or PDF to PDF. And then for PowerPoints, it'll be PowerPoint to PowerPoints. So that's typically the kind of workflows that I have in terms of how you begin a comparison. And then I tend to just simply just go directly into the demonstration itself. And something that I've always pointed out is the speed of the comparison that we have today. So with Word or any other competitive comparison tool, is that it takes quite a while to load up the comparison itself. So for us, we're able to compare the original and modified, which were 20 pages each. And we can do this in a matter of seconds, in just over 7 seconds, in where we were able to compare these documents. So Ivo, when it comes to the comparison, is there anything in particular that you find that clients tell you that they want to compare, or um, they they want to see when they look at the documents here?
Sure. I would say mostly when the customer is firstly comparing two documents, they are not very familiar with how the comparison appears. For example, you see that underlining or the color coding. Uh, in that case, I always, if you scroll all the way down, you have like a statistics and you have the legend when you can tell how particular change appears. So you can see the insertions are highlighted blue, deletions red, and then of course you have the statistics. But if the customers want to navigate through the particular changes a little bit deep and then like to view each of them, what I would suggest is maybe to go to change summary panel, which is on the left side,
Yeah.
and just to go, because it's nicely categorized, we can see like uh, for example, numbering changes, capitalization changes, and it also including the number of the changes. So once you will expand, for example, options for numbering changes, uh, then you can go through each of them, and based on it, you can decide what would you like to do with that. So I would say change summary panel. It's very helpful in terms to navigate through your changes, and yeah, you can also see the statistics and just to review quickly how many deletion has been detected, insertions as well.
No, definitely. So when I speak to clients about the change summary or the statistics, it's something that they're always amazed by, because they tend to do this through Microsoft Word or another comparison tool. And when they see the change summary, this is something that's familiar to them. Every single change that's listed out to them. And it takes them quite a while just to go through all of these changes. They have to go through every single thing one by one. So what you said definitely helps. As you mentioned, everything is categorized. So you've got some simple ones like currency, numbering, capitalization. There's also some key ones as well that I always show off, and that's matching changes. So as I open this up, you'll notice that there's subgroups of the changes. So you don't have to worry about going through every single change one by one. All the changes, if there's any common ones, it'll be changed from, for example, with this one, you have to change into notice 12 times and quality technique 4 times. So these are the group changes that you have, and you can see throughout the document. If there were any changes, for example, I didn't make a particular change or I forgot to make it, that was picked up in the group, but I forgot to make it in the document, the compare tool can actually pick that up. And that's always picked up in suggested changes. So, for example, if I made quality and technique change 4 times, I might have missed that one change. And that's where compare can come into play and show you that, hey, we saw that you made quality change in technique 4 times, but you missed this one change. Is this something that you also want to make as well? That's something that I always want to show. Are there any
It's
particular changes that you show, Evo, when you the clients?
Yeah, I think it's great. And also, what I wanted to add it is for change summary, you can also flag the changes. So if you're not
Mhm.
sure that you would like to accept it, or you need to check internally with your colleague before you will accept it, you can just right click on a particular change and then select flag. So then if you then move to the status view, you should be able to see what's the current status and nicely navigate through what has been accepted, what hasn't, and what, for example, in flagged category needs your attention. So then based on it, you can decide later if you would like to move forward with that particular change.
Yeah, something that I always hear back as well. Sometimes they'll say there's quite a lot of changes in the change summary. How can we make it simpler? How can we build out these changes? So with Workshare Compare, it's actually really customizable, especially with the layout of this user interface here. Sometimes they might say, well, we want to take a look at the original and modified documents. That's possible. All you'll need to do is go through the layouts and click into the original and modified options. And now you'll be able to see the original on the left, the modified on the right, with the red line in the middle. If you wanted to go a little bit deeper into this, within the editing button, I can choose exactly what I'd like to compare. So if I wanted to ignore any content within the tables or any text boxes, here is where I can change all of this out. And then we've made it easier as well. So I had one client who said, well, I've got some issues with the colors. I've got color blindness. Sometimes I don't notice what's a blue, what's a green. So that's where I've said that with Workshare Compare, you can go into the redline rendering and actually change the colors around to make it a little bit easier for yourself. So if you have any issues with the colors that we already have, you can actually fit it to your processes so that it's a little bit easier for you. Anything from yourself to add on this, Ivo?
No, it's great as you mentioned. The great thing on Workshare Compare is that it's easily customizable, and you can either change your layout or you can change your rendering set. And rendering set is basically the way how the changes appear. So uh, what we can do also there as well, if you change, for example, how the red line will appear or the color coding, and then you will change any red line options, then you can either save these changes and deploy on the other machines. For example, if using any Citrix environment or anything for multiple users. So then you don't have to do individually for each of them. So the rendering sets and the customization, it's great, and it's definitely giving you a little bit freedom. What I wanted to also mention, as you discuss about the layout, then I wanted to say that change summary panel is normally by default on the left side, but you can also move it around and a little bit change it as well. So for example, if you right click on the change summary panel and you will select the options floating, then you should be able to see that panel around the worksheet compare in the tool. Here we go. Super. And you can make it bigger as much as you want, or you can move it whenever it fits you. It's up to you. But again, it's great on Workshare that you can also customize the interface.
Yeah, definitely. As well as this, it's also great just to go through the changes so I don't have to click any changes one by one. If I just clicked into the title,
Mm,
it'll choose it for all the sub changes as well. So
yeah.
it'll save you a lot of time just to do that.
I was also was thinking, is there any option if, for example, I have just some two documents, but I don't want to completely, or I don't want to compare to all of them documents, but I just want to compare short text with some images. Is there any quicker way to do it instead of launching? all desktop application?
Yes, there is. So we have a selective compare feature, which allows you to compare just parts of the document. So if you wanted to compare just a table or maybe an image or maybe just the first paragraph of each document, that's something that you can do rather than comparing the whole document. Sometimes you might have a document which has hundreds of pages and you don't need to worry about what um, the whole document has. You just want to see what one part of the document is like and if it has any changes compared to a previous version. So I'm just going to close out of this and show you how you can do that. So I'm going to open up a document here and you'll notice that I have a document which I'd like to see just the first paragraph of the document and compare it with a paragraph that I might have been sent through an email or through an instant message, or maybe I've seen this in another part of the document. So I'm just going to open up the selective compare feature here. And once this opens up, you'll have a dialog box in which you can add your content in. Now I can copy and paste this, or I can drag and drop it. So I've highlighted which content I'd like to compare. I'm just going to drag and drop it into my original. And I've been sent content through an email, which I'd like to compare this against. So this is the text that I'd like to compare this with the paragraph. And again, I'm just going to drag and drop it to the dialog box. Now, once I click into compare, this will then run a comparison in exactly the same way as if it was a whole document that we went through earlier. So it'll see the differences between just these two paragraphs, present the changes in a red line, and also show it in the change summary on the left-hand side. Here you go. It's a little bit different in terms of how you can do this, but as you can see, the view is exactly the same way.
Great. And Mohammed, I have a question. Because you've been already you are working for Litera and you've been with Workshare as well.
Mhm.
Could you just Can we just kind of talk about, like, let's say, differences between version from Workshare Compare 9.5 till the latest version? What is your favorite feature which has been now recently released, or what would you like to say? What has been the biggest improvements with these releases?
Yeah, so there's been quite a lot of improvements from Workshare 9.5 to the current version that we have today. So we've made it a lot faster. We've improved how we compare. So in terms of table comparisons, that's a lot cleaner now. We've improved PDF comparisons. And then some of the other features that I like is that now we've added in a separate tool for Excel comparisons. So with Workshare 9.5, this wasn't possible, but now you can actually compare Excel files as well as Word and PDF, which was already there, and also PowerPoints as well. How about yourself? Is there anything that you like sharing with the clients when you show the current version of Workshare Compare?
Yes, definitely. As you mentioned, that it's quicker. Many issues has been fixed with the new release. Also, what the new release are offering is the tracking usage. So once is your usage enable or tracking usage enable, then you can kind of see how many users using particular feature, which is great for the organization as well. And yeah, mostly the design also as well of the icons. So that has been a little bit made modern, and I would say nicely looking than previous than Workshare Compare 9.5. But that, I would say, that would be my favorite points. Also, for example, you can email multiple redline in different formats within Workshare Compare, which has been released now. And the latest version, it's 10.7.11. So yeah, definitely if anyone has still old version and thinking about updating, I would go for it, because the 10.7 is offering much better value and better features, and it's of course quicker.
Yeah, for sure. And as part of my role, I'll always be there to provide any demonstrations or any training sessions. I know Eva yourself, you'll always be there as well to help with the adoption side of things, making sure that everybody is familiar and also that their workflow fits with what they do today as well. So we've got a wide team that will help you with working with your requirements just to make sure that you're comfortable with the comparison tool.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know we have just 8 minutes till finishing. So, Mohammed, are you happy to open the browser and just kind of show adoption resources, what we have available, and I can walk through?
Yes, you'll have to give me 1 second. My
Sure.
internet is a little bit slow, so that might need to be from your side. Zero.
M-
Mhm.
Maybe I can, let me see. Let me check it out. Okay, here we go. I should share now. Okay, is everyone able to see? Are you able to see the customer?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, so once you're on a Litera page, you will go to Customer Center, and then in the Customer Center, you will select the item Adobe Litera. Within that item, you can access all available resources, basically adoption resources for all products. But because we're talking today about Workshare Compare, then you can click on Workshare Compare item. And once you will access it, you can see a few nice resources. So for example, we have some quick tip videos. It's basically brief task oriented demo videos. It's mostly like up to 3 minutes, and it will walk you through, for example, how you can compare documents within Outlook, or how to use selective compare. So this is very helpful if you are new within the tool or you just need to refresh. I would definitely suggest to go to quick tip videos section. All videos are accessible from our YouTube channel, so you don't have to download it. If I will move to adopt section, then we have here best practice guides. These guides are very brief, and it again including some tips, for example, how you can compare multiple documents. And it's mostly very shortly and simple described in one PDF page. So again, this is something what you can access within this section. We have also training opportunities. We are weekly doing Litera TV, so Litera Learning Live. So every Monday, it's mostly focused on Workshare Compare or other tools. So if you would like to join, for example, next week, you can again see and view us on in the same time. Then we have frequently asked questions. So this document, it's basically based on the questions which come up from the customer most frequently. And then we decided to create a documentation so it might be easier for some of the users just to answer, because most of the people have the same questions. And then we have marketing materials. So for example, if you have deployed new software within your organization and you would like to kind of use as a user awareness email campaigns, or just to make awareness through the organizations, you can do so and download marketing materials, which includes, for example, general email campaigns, which you can customize it, and it has, for example, a short text with quick tip video how you can use a selective compare feature, which Mohammed showed us a few minutes ago. Or you can just access getting start guides. So there is the quick reference guide or any workflow guides, and that will walk you through as well how you can use the tool and what's the value of the tool as well. And this documentation within getting started guides, it includes also release notes. So you can see what has been added into the new feature, what has been released, and what has been improved or which issues has been fixed. So if you are looking for any additional resources, that definitely please go to Workshare Compare resources, and you should be able to find it from here. Otherwise, Mohammed, do you have any questions or
No, nothing else from me.
nothing else? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for showing us the Compare tool. I think it was very helpful. And thank you for joining, of course, today. It was nice to have you. And yeah, I will see you guys again next week. So have a nice day or evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.